Game theory is a general mathematical analysis to investigate the strategy interactions among players. Game theories attempt to provide precise descriptions of situations of conflicting interests in order to study the behavior that such a conflict would, or in some cases should, elicit from rational agents. Players are assumed to consider the position and perceptions of other players while forming their strategies. In our examples, we will assume that there are two countries and that each has two choices, and the fact that the countries are selfish, which means they will operate in their own best interests, and rational, which means they will choose the best options available for themselves. In regard to international trade, the cartel is an example. There are two countries in the market and they can choose to operate independently using strategy A or form a cartel using strategy B. The payoffs are as follows. If they form a cartel, they agree to limit productions, hence increasing price, so they both gain 8. If they both operate independently, they both gain 4. If they agree to form a cartel, thus increasing the price, but one country betrays the other by producing more than agreed, then that country gains a lot while the other loses a lot. How should the two countries operate to maximize their gains? Consider country 1. If country 2 chooses strategy B, then country 1 has a higher payoff with strategy A. If country 2 chooses strategy A, then country 1 has a higher payoff with strategy A also. Thus, strategy A is a dominant strategy for country 1 because it gives the higher payoff regardless of the other player's strategy. The same reasoning applies for country 2. If country 1 chooses strategy B, then country 2 has a higher payoff with strategy A. If country 1 chooses strategy A, then country 2 has a higher payoff with strategy A. So, strategy A is a dominant strategy for country 2 as well. This leads to a dominant strategy equilibrium at point 4 and 4. If a certain strategy pays a player the highest payoff, regardless of the other player's strategies, then that strategy is known as a dominant strategy. If both players have dominant strategies, the point which they both choose is known as the dominant strategy equilibrium. We see from our example that the strategy B is Pareto superior to strategy A. However, unless the players cooperate in choosing their strategies, they will choose the inferior strategy, which is strategy A. The dominant strategy equilibrium does not always provide the best result. If the players or both countries choose strategy B, either player can gain by moving to A unilaterally. In other words, if they agree to form a cartel, either player can gain by reneging on the agreement. This is why cartels are considered unstable and easy to collapse. Both players will always try to maximize their own profit by defecting. However, as a result, both of them experience reduction of profit. Therefore, it is known as a tragedy of commons. How do firms keep a cartel strong? Invoke severe punishments for firms that renege on the agreement. If the game is played repeatedly, a player that reneges is not likely to be trusted, so will not be able to form a cartel with others again. This is how the game theory affects the international trade activities. The game theory will help the countries to be well prepared in any possible outcome of the international trade negotiations. That's all from me. Thank you for watching.